All right, everybody. Listen here. This is warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024. This will be part 17, and this is going to be a continuation of housing. So look, I had some ideas after I finished that one about, how would we do it? So we'd take this money, we'd go in, we'd demolish all this old stuff like AOC. You don't have to rebuild the whole country and you want to spend massive amounts of money on bullet trains. Here's what we're going to do, these rundown neighborhoods. We're going to build homes. They'll be modern homes, energy efficient. If people say it's the right thing to do, we'll put in solar stuff with the Tesla systems or whatever. Good R rating in the insulation. Like I said, we'll talk about building codes and stuff like that. We'll talk to people who we all trust and everything, from like this old house, and people who know about products and things like that. And if instant hot water and stuff like that is good, we'll do that. What about for your lawn, to water your lawn? Do you have to use fresh water? Can you take not toilet water or anything like that, but like water from a dishwasher or water that goes through the sink? Can you filter that somehow before you dump it out into the sewer system? Can you recycle any of that through some kind of filtration system that's not expensive, and put it into a closed system to where it can't get back into the fresh water, but it could be used to sprinkle or to water your grass or something like that? Anyhow, that's all sidebar stuff. The main plan is here. These neighborhoods, these areas, whether they were industrial or housing and stuff, you go through these cities, they're all demolished and stuff. Nobody does anything about them. You hear a lot of promises, yada, yada, yada. All these cities, we all know, if they want a new stadium, they can find the money. Somehow, some way, the NFL, which is a 501c, doesn't pay taxes, and the owners and stuff who make all this money, they end up working these deals to where it's the city paying for the stadium. Now, if they can find $1 billion or $500 million to build a football or baseball stadium. Remember when they did Camden Yards in Baltimore? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful ballpark. That whole area there, when you drove past on the interstate and everything. Hey, look at that. Look at it, man. Look, they spent some money down there. Same thing in Phoenix. Diamondbacks. Cardinals got a new stadium. Money can always be found for football stadiums. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to knock down all these old houses and stuff that are empty and have vacant lots and stuff, where there was a lot of crime and crack houses and things like that. We're going to put up nice quality homes, and we're going to go to the next block over, people in that community. We're going to say, here you go. You got first dibs on these houses. Here's the deal. So I was thinking about, what should the deal be? So instead of handing them the keys, here you go, and then they sell it, whatever, for a pocket full of cash, or making it like public housing to where they don't own it and have no vested interest in the neighborhood or anything. Here you go. It's a 10-year deal. You pay $400 a month for 10 years or whatever. And like I said, I'm throwing numbers out there. We'll look at what the incomes in the area are, stuff like that, what market values for houses are, and what it costs to build these and stuff and everything. But we'll come up with a low-cost monthly deal. So for 10 years, you pay $400 a month. So what's that? 40,000. Let's see, 10 times 2 is 20. So 60 grand. Is that what I'm thinking? I don't know. Anyway, so go ahead and make fun of me. I can't do math in my head, off my head, top of my head. So anyway, at that point, you're vested. At that point, you get the title for the house. Whether, you figure it out, whether it's you paid, it might be $150,000 house. You're going to get it for the 40 or the 60 grand, whatever it is. This means you have a vested interest in that neighborhood. You have a vested interest in that neighborhood to keep it a nice neighborhood for your children. And hey, you might want to live in that house, stay there. You might not want to sell it and go somewhere else. You might not want to, make that big profit off it and sell it and move somewhere else. You might not want to do that. You might want to stay in that neighborhood. But there'll be nice homes, quality homes. Stay there for 10 years. You're vested. Here you go. Here's the title to your home. Because in low-income housing and stuff like this and everything, whether it's these towers they got and everything, people don't have a vested interest for it to stay like a nice neighborhood or anything like that. They don't own it. When you own something, you show a little more concern about the neighborhood and stuff like that and what's going on. And if you have more concern for it and everything, that's naturally going to rub off on your children. They're going to have a vested interest in keeping it a drug and crime-free neighborhood and having a good school and going to school. You're going to have a vested interest, and you're going to have some hope for the future for yourself and your children. So I'm saying we're going to make it attractive to be a law-abiding citizen, and we're going to make it unattractive to be a criminal. So the rest of America might be going, well, that's not fair. You're going to practically give homes away, and these people are going to be able. Look here. What do prisons cost us every year? What do prisons cost us every year? When you have people who have no vested interest in the future of the community or their own future, and the drug life and everything is more attractive to them than being a law-abiding citizen, what's it cost us in the long run? It costs us way more in the long run. When you end up with people on welfare, when you end up with people going to prison, it costs us way more in the long run. That's what you got. That's what the payback for America is. By doing this, going into these neighborhoods that are decimated, a lot of them been decimated since the 80s, since all the crack stuff. We go in there, if we can find money for spectacular ballparks, $1 billion or $500 million, we can find $100 million per block or whatever in our neighborhoods, in these neighborhoods. And then, hey, the average citizen, well, what's in it for me? Well, if they want to sell after 10 years or whatever we work the thing out to and everything, maybe you're one of the ones that you'll scoop one of these houses up, for a song. And if the neighborhood goes gentrified then because African Americans who we, in these inner cities that we not gave, but built these houses for and helped them get, if they want to sell to white people and move out and give them a deal and gentrify the neighborhood, that's their choice. If they want to move out to the suburbs or something and then let the neighborhood go gentrified, that's their choice. So there will be nice homes, quality homes, and you'll have a vested interest. And the same thing, public housing in these cities, no more it's the city owned and all this and everything. They will be like apartment homes. They will be like apartment homes. You, after so many years of living there, paying rent, you're gonna have to pay some rent. You're gonna have to get a job. You're not gonna be able to take welfare money and pay for it. If you're disabled or something like that, that's a different story. They'll be like apartment homes, condos if you'd like. It's no more just going to be some city-owned shithole that, gangs and everything else run rampant in. You're going to have a vested interest in that apartment home because you're going to be able to sell it. You are going to be able to sell it. It'll be like your condominium. You are going to have a vested interest and be able to sell it. And I know we'll hear cries about, well, all you're talking about, that's a form of reparations and this. Call it what you want. 40 acres and a mule, call it what you want. But I've driven through these types of neighborhoods year after year after year after year. Nothing ever changes. Cities get new ballparks. They get new big libraries. They get big new this and everything. Convention centers. They get all this stuff. All these neighborhoods sit and rot. The politicians make promises. Nothing gets done. Money gets thrown at the city. Nothing gets done. Put me in office, and I guarantee you, because I'll be there. I don't play golf. If I'm president, you'll never see me out on a golf course. Sorry. I will make trips to these cities, frequent trips. Maybe I won't go overseas as much. I'll have to have a vice president that likes to travel overseas. And you know what, right now, I'll tell you right now, I don't know if she'll be African American or Hispanic or white or whatever, but that the best woman candidate there is for vice president, that is who I'll pick. And if you want to know the type of person I would pick, it would be somebody I would think is level-headed, educated, who has been around the world and doesn't have a bunch of crazy ideas. So if you look at the field of candidates we've had in the past couple of elections and everything, if you want to know what kind of vice president I would pick, look at Tulsi Gabbard. She's well-spoken, knows what she's talking about and everything. She's level-headed. She's not slinging all these crazy ideas out there like the other candidates. She's not a socialist, all these other things. We can fix a lot of things in America. Some things we got to fix by baby steps. We can't pull the rug out from under everybody. Other things, it better be or elbows and assholes. The money will be there. You better be ready to go to work, and we're gonna get these projects going, and it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. We're not going to play politics with stuff. You know why? And it's not going to get stonewalled, and we're not going to play politics, because if this works, whether it's for me or anybody else, if it works, where we bypass the whole system and we put somebody in office for president of the United States without all the crap and the special interest and all this stuff and everything, and somebody gets in there like myself that just I'm not beholden to anybody, man. I ran on a platform. I put my ideas, go back and look at them. They're all on YouTube. Bring up something. If I forget something, play the video for me. Okay, we got to go do that. That is a promise I made. We're going to go do it. And if the Congress and all this try to stonewall on that because they don't like an outsider coming in there, guess what? I'm going to call them out on it. And so-and-so doesn't like this, and here's why I think so-and-so doesn't like this. Guess what? We need a YouTube candidate for that seat in the House or the Senate, whatever it is. You have the power in your vote. We all have the power in our vote. Going out here in the streets, tearing stuff down, looting, talking about getting rid of the police departments, talking about killing cops and all this, that ain't the answer, man, and you know it. You know it's not the answer. That is going backwards. You know it's going backwards. And I seen the same thing in LA 92. Seen the same exact thing. All right? You know, I've said things about Rodney King, and I stand by him. I got no tears for him. But when you watch that video and stuff, yeah, even then I had sympathy for him and everything, till I found out his record and everything else. But especially after what was done. And everyone stood back. People are being murdered in the street, and everyone's, you got to understand, they're angry. I'm sorry, what? Angry? I get angry. I don't go kill people. I get angry. I don't go burn stuff down. I get angry. You know, I ain't out there looking to loot. So whatever city it is, St. Louis, Baltimore, New Orleans, whatever, we're going to come in. We're going to come in. shirt sleeves rolled up, steel toe boots on, pocket full of money. We're fixing these neighborhoods. You're going to be able to own the home. If you want to stay there, live there, raise your family, whatever. After 10 years, title's yours. And a lot of people can say, well, that's not fair. To some degree, you're right. That will not be fair. And we'll even go, and I'm not saying it's got to be all black families that get these homes. We will go and rebuild these neighborhoods, and if there are, we can all got all these homeless people living on their own, and we'll go find the people who fell through the cracks. We will go find the people who fell through the cracks in all these cities, and say, look here, would you mind relocating? Would you, instead of living under this overpass here in Seattle, would you mind living in a home in Baltimore or St. Louis or something that we're building? You and your family, that's what we'd concentrate on first. We'd find homeless families first. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, whatever. But first, we'll concentrate on the people who live in those areas, which are predominantly African American. We're going to rebuild these neighborhoods. We're going to give you a stake in your future, a stake in the community. And the payoff will be less crime. The payoff will be maybe more harmony in this country. The payoff will be a better future for your children, economically and security-wise, because you're not going to want drug gangs running through there. You're not going to want all kinds of stuff happening and your property value going down. You're going to have a vested stake in that neighborhood. And we're not going to build these homes and then gentrify them and just, here you go, yuppie white people that want to live in the city limits. Here you go. Here's a new. No, it's going to go to the people in that community. If there aren't enough people in that community, like I said, we'll go out. We'll get the homeless. It doesn't matter. You're white, black, Mexican, Asian. And at the same time, we're going to sort through all those homeless people and the people who have mental problems. Everyone keeps saying, we got to do something. I don't see anybody doing anything. Same thing with the cities. The burned out buildings and stuff. I see these homeless encampments every single city. Everyone keeps saying, gotta do something. Come up with an idea to go in and do. Hey, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna clean these people out. We're gonna sort through them and we're gonna see who's criminals and this and that. All the people on those. No, you can't do that. There's no crime to live outside like that and everything. There's no crime to defecate in the street. All this stuff. Come on, man. Something has to be done. If you're not going to do it, that's what I say. We rebuild these homes in these areas. We give people a stake in home ownership. We go out to where these homeless encampments are. Second, we go through them anyway. We get the criminals. We find people who are mentally ill. We get them off the street. We try and get help to the families and stuff. But, there was rumors, they're going to send vans to pick you up and everything. If I'm president, there will be vans. We're not going to arrest them, throw them in jail, though. We're going to have a system to organize and sort people out. What's your story? Lost your job, lost your place to live, this and that. You ended up on the street. You want a fresh start? Can you agree not to be in a gang, commit criminal activity, no drugs? Would you like a home? We're going to give you a vested interest in being a part of the community. We're going to give you a second chance, a new start. You understand? These are things we're going to do, and we're going to do them. We're not just going to talk about them. I'm not going to, if I keep talking like I'm going to be here. Anyhow, if it should ever happen, I can guarantee you this. I will not be out on the golf course. I will not be running around looking for photo shoots with, other politicians and this and that and everything. I'm going to be in your city. 1 week I'll be in somebody else's city. Next, I'm a workaholic to begin with. So I will have no problem traveling this country and making sure things are getting done. I'm not going to delegate it to somebody else. I'll have a smart vice president. I think it would be a good thing to have a woman vice president. Somebody who's smart, capable. In case somebody decides they want to whack me, then you'll have your first woman president. So, anyhow, those are my ideas. Yes, I believe in being tough on crime. I believe people can make mistakes, but there's a certain point we can't deal with it no more. Look at this. Look at one of these guys that they arrested for shooting Officer Dorn. He was given chances. We can't have time in society anymore. I know it's a hard thing to say. It's a hard thing to say. That we got to get tough. We don't got time for this no more. We have to concentrate on the people who want a future, not the people who don't give a damn about the future. And that's these criminals and these people with these mindsets that the hell with everything and everybody else. I'm going to be a thug for, whatever reason. The music's influenced them, the drugs, whatever it is. There's a certain point that you got to say, you made that you sure now? You sure that's a choice? Your first arrest here, we're giving you a chance, man. You either decide you want to turn it around and not go down that path, or you decide, hey, that's the life for you. You're going to keep being involved in criminal activity and all this. Because I ain't going to cry for you. Some cop caves your head in or something somewhere. Not me. I'm done. I'm done with that. You go out and do something stupid, the cops, busted you for meth or whatever 3, 4, 5 times. You resist arrest and the cop kicks the shit out of you. I don't care. Honest to God, I don't. Why should I? I know they put stuff on TV and that makes you care. But honest to God, if it wasn't in your face all the time and people would talking with sympathetic voices and stuff, you could have that tough love. You could have that tough love and say, you know what, I don't care. You made your choice. You were given chances. The court went easy on you. You didn't take them. Sorry, Charlie. But at the same time, we're going to get tough with that. We're going to get tough with making it attractive to be a part of this society. We're going to give you a stake in the society. Public housing isn't just going to be some state-run crap. It's going to be your home. It'll be, if it's not on a city block like a regular home, and these tenements, these towers and stuff like this, maybe they got to come down. We got to build new ones. We'll build a new one first. It'll have nice, modern appeal. Not going to look like some, I don't know, prison building or whatever like that. It's going to look like a modern apartment building. Something where you would go move to if you had the money to. Whether it's encased in glass or whatever, like the other apartment buildings in the cities, whatever. Who knows? We'll talk to architects and stuff. But it's going to be nice. And you know what? You're going to be able to have ownership of it. Same deal. No drugs. No gangs. No illegal firearms. You're gonna pay rent for a certain period, and then after that, it's yours. If you want to sell it to somebody else, you want to let that go gentrified too, you can do that. You want to keep living there, as the value of the place, maybe the value goes up more and more, whatever it is, and those will be diversified too. The people who live in the area will get first dibs. And then, there's other people around. But really, we can't just say it's going to be an all-black thing and it's reparations or whatever like that. It's not going to matter if you're white, black, brown. You're in these neighborhoods, these poor neighborhoods that have fallen apart. We're going to give you a vested interest. This isn't a wealth shift. This isn't anything like that, what other people want to do. This is just saying, look here. Now you have a vested interest in this neighborhood to keep it from going to hell, to keep police from having to come down here constantly over and over again. You're going to have a vested interest. You're going to want it to stay safe for your children. You're going to be proud of it. It's going to be a place, you can feel safe at. All those types of things. You're going to have a vested interest. Because we're done with the criminals. The criminals will go. They'll fall by the wayside. You're going to have a vested interest. You're going to have these jackoffs. If they try and come in there with their drugs and their gangs and everything, you're going to be one of the first ones calling the cops. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. You know why? Because now you got ownership. Now you're going to have ownership. Now you're going to understand, like the rest of America, who have homes and communities and stuff like that, who are tired of the stuff going on. All right? Can everybody understand that? And we'll get a payback because we will have less crime. With between getting tough and between fixing these neighborhoods, instead of everybody making speeches about it and then spending $1 billion on a ballpark, we're coming in, sleeves rolled up, ready to go to work. The money's out. This is the United States of America. Don't tell me we can't do it. Don't tell me we can't do it. All right, wish you all the best out there. God bless.